The first time Elise heard her name whispered in the mirror, she thought it was just the wind. The old house creaked and groaned, as if it remembered all the lives that had passed through it. But that night, as she brushed her hair in front of the dusty antique mirror, she heard it again. Elise. She froze. The whisper was faint but unmistakable, as if someone were standing just behind her. She spun around. Nothing. Only the darkened room, and the cold wind slipping through the cracked window pane. The mirror had been in the house since before she was born. Her grandmother used to cover it with a thick velvet cloth, saying it was an heirloom from a place no one remembered, passed down through generations but never spoken of. When Elise inherited the house after her grandmother's passing, the cloth was gone and the mirror stood exposed like a wound. Elise leaned closer to the glass. Her reflection looked normal. Same pale skin, same tired eyes, but there was something strange in the way. Her image moved just a fraction too late. She lifted her hand. The reflection followed, just a beat off. It smiled when she didn't. Then it whispered again. "Elise, I know your name." She staggered back, heart racing. Her mouth was dry. Logic screamed at her to leave, to call someone, anyone. But she couldn't look away. What do you want?" she asked, her voice trembling. The reflection didn't answer. Instead, it stepped closer. Closer than Elise had. Closer than it should have been able to. That was when the glass rippled, like the surface of a pond disturbed by wind, and the reflection whispered once more. "I remember you." Elise backed away until her legs bumped the edge of the bed. The room felt colder now, the air pressing down on her chest like a weight. She glanced toward the door, thinking she could make a run for it. But something in her bones told her that turning her back on the mirror would be a mistake. The surface rippled again. Her reflection, no, the thing inside the mirror, tilted its head. Its movements were too fluid, like it wasn't bound by the same rules as Elise. And its eyes gleamed with something ancient, not cruel but deeply knowing. "You left me behind," the voice said, clearer this time. Elise's throat tightened. "Left you? I don't know you." The thing inside the mirror smiled. It wasn't mocking. It was sad. "You were just a child. They made you forget. But you came back. You always come back." She shook her head. "You're not real." The reflection blinked slowly. "Not real? You used to listen to me. We used to play." A flicker of memory brushed the edge of her mind. Her as a little girl, sitting cross-legged in front of the mirror, giggling and whispering secrets. But she had always thought that was imaginary. A phase, a game. Her grandmother had scolded her for talking to her reflection, said it was dangerous, that she was opening doors better left shut. The reflection stepped forward again and Elise gasped. It was no longer mirroring her. It was acting on its own. "I need your help, Elise." The room trembled, just slightly, like something underneath the floor had stirred. "What are you?" Elise whispered. The reflection opened its mouth, but no sound came. Its face contorted in pain. Then, almost too faint to hear, it rasped, "They're coming." The room seemed to darken around Elise, though no light had been turned off. The reflection, her not her, was shaking now. Both hands pressed against the glass from the other side. "They're coming," it repeated, voice warped, desperate. "You have to remember. You have to let me in." "Let you in?" Elise whispered, heart thundering. Behind the mirror, shadows gathered. Something vast moved just out of sight, figures without shape, crawling just beneath the surface like insects beneath skin. The reflection was no longer the only thing looking at her. "Please," the reflection begged. "It's the only way. You were the key before. You still are." Elise stepped closer, drawn by something deeper than fear. The mirror hummed with energy. She could feel it now. Something had been sealed long ago, and she had been part of it. Her child's mind had locked the door, and her grandmother had guarded it with silence. "I'm scared," Elise said. The reflection softened. "So was I, but you didn't leave me. You came back." A single tear rolled down Elise's cheek. Then she raised her hand and pressed her palm to the cold surface of the glass. For a heartbeat, nothing happened. Then the mirror shattered without a sound. Light exploded outward, swallowing the room, and for a moment, Elise felt herself falling through a sea of voices, memories and forgotten names. She saw the child version of herself, holding hands with the reflection. She saw her grandmother, standing in the same room, chanting in a language Elise didn't know, but somehow understood. And then silence. Elise opened her eyes. She was still in the room, but the mirror was gone. Not shattered, gone as though it had never existed. She stood up slowly. The house was quiet again, peaceful, But deep inside her, something had changed. A door had closed, and another had opened. She walked to the window and looked out at the woods behind the house. The air was still, safe, but the voice, faint and familiar, echoed softly in her mind. "Thank you, Elise," she whispered into the empty room. "I remember now." And the house, long haunted by secrets, finally slept.